Now we're putting together a couple different things we've done before. We're finding slope, and then we are using one of the points to find the y-intercept, and then we can write our y equals mx plus b equation. So in this example, we've got 2 points, negative 10 and 3, and then negative 7 and 0. So we have to solve for the slope first. So y2, which is 0, and then for subtracting from y2, y1, which is 3, and then x2, which is negative 7, and subtracting from that, negative 10. Right, and remember, when we're subtracting a negative, that becomes a positive. So we have 0 minus 3 is negative 3, and then negative 7 plus 10. Well, so when you have a positive and a negative, you're getting the difference. And the difference between 7 and 10 is 3. Since 10 is positive and 7 is negative, it's a difference of positive 3. Negative 3 over positive 3 simplifies to negative 1, which is my m. Now that I have my m, I can plug in one of the points and solve it for b. So if I start with y equals mx plus b, my y value, I'm going to go with the x2, y2 because there's a 0 in there, and I'm always a fan of using zeros. So 0 equals negative 1. My x is negative 7 plus b. Order of operations says before I solve, I want to simplify, which I can do by multiplying negative 1 and negative 7. And then I have 0 equals positive 7 plus b. Subtract the 7's from both sides. I'm left with negative 7 equals b. Now that I know my b value and my m value, I can write my final equation. Y equals negative 1x minus 7, which this would simplify to y equals minus x minus 7. Right? If this is 1, we don't multiply. If we're multiplying by 1, we don't write it. If we're adding 0, we don't write that. So let's go and try another example. So this next example, we're given the points 5, 5 and 5, minus 8. So we have my x1 and my y1, and then my x2 and my y2. So my slope is going to be equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which is negative 8 minus 5 on top, and then 5 minus 5 on bottom. 8, negative 8 and negative 5, if they're both negative, it's a sum. And 8 plus 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Since it's two negatives, it's minus 13 on top, and 5 minus 5, 0 on bottom. If you type this into a calculator, go make a bigger screen. So if I have negative 13 divided by 0, it gives me, it looks like it's 0, which was wrong. It gives, so this overload, this is an error. Right? It's an error because you can't divide by 0. When you have a 0 on bottom, it's undefined. Right? And with slopes, there's two special cases. There's a perfectly Man, that's awful. My cat's sitting my lap in the way, but that's okay. All right, so perfectly horizontal and perfectly vertical. The horizontal line right, that line can shift up and down, right? And y is the thing that goes up and down. So this is y equals some value. So in this case, my slope is 0. For the vertical line, now this line can shift to the left and to the right, which is x's domain. So the x equals some value, and then the slope is undefined. Taking that into account, in this case, we got the undefined, which means it's x equals value. Well, what value? Well, if we look back up at the original point, my x values stay the same. And so we just can write x equals that value. X, hold up, I'm the calculator still. All right, x equals 5. Okay, let's try one more. So here we are given the points, -7, 0, and -6, -1. So if I do my y's, so -1 minus 0 on top. And since I did -1 first, I need to do -6 first on bottom. So -6 minus -7, which again, when you subtract a negative, that's the same as adding. -1 minus 0 is -1. -6 plus 7. If different signs, we need the difference between the two. 6 and 7, their difference is 1. Since 7 is positive, it's 7 minus 6, 1. So my slope is -1. I'm going to use the first point to plug in to the y equals mx plus b. So my y is 0. M is -1, and multiplying that by -7. And then adding to that my b value, which I currently do not know. So 0 equals +7 plus b, subtract 7 from both sides. B is -7. So final answer, y equals -x minus 7. Y equals minus x minus 7. Submit. Alright, so hopefully you are good to go and y'all have a great day.